cultures and history. In REM sleep, we dream, and our minds typically shut off the physical control of our body. During a phenomenon called sleep paralysis, however, a person experiences an REM state that is out of sequence. We're supposed to be temporarily paralyzed while we experience REM sleep, but we aren't supposed to be conscious. Yet that's what happens during sleep paralysis, which is a strange mix of brain states that are normally detached in time. Nightmares straddle the mind-body divide and the possible connection with sudden, unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. As Adler writes in the introduction to her book, quote, "The nightmare, poised as it is between the supernatural and the natural worlds, and between the meaningful and the biological, is perfectly positioned to teach us about the seamless connection between our minds and our bodies," end quote. People who have experienced sleep paralysis often feel that a malevolent being is near them. This feeling is consistent across cultures, though it goes by different names. During the 1980s, over 100 healthy Hmong men with a median age of 33 years died in their sleep. Their death rate was about the same as the top 5 natural causes of death for American men in their age group. Something was killing them, but there was no obvious cause of death. None of them had been sick. They were united only by a shared culture and dislocation from Laos to the United States. Adler comes to a striking conclusion about the cause of their deaths. They died during nightmares, killed by their beliefs in the spirit world, even though the medical cause of their deaths was ascribed to an obscure genetic cardiac arrhythmia common in Southeast Asia. Conversely, the story of John Whitley, as told in a 2016 issue of AARP Bulletin, shows how the mind can positively affect health. In July 2011, Whitley was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer that had spread to his liver, where doctors found an inoperable tumor. He was told he had less than a year to live. Determined to beat the odds, he entered a trial where some participants got an experimental drug and others got a placebo. Every afternoon, as he sat in his apartment and took the drug, he told himself, quote, "This is a miracle drug that is going to save my life," end quote. That September, his oncologist called him in shock. Scans showed that his tumor had vanished, but his miracle remission wasn't due to the experimental drug. He received the placebo, not the drug. Nearly 7 years after his diagnosis, Whitley was disease-free. Over 3,500 such case studies have been documented in the medical literature in the Spontaneous Remission Project, compiled by the Institute of Noetic Sciences. That review suggests there's no such thing as an incurable illness, which is the point author Lisa Rankin makes in her book Mind Over Medicine. During her years as a medical doctor, Rankin became interested in patients like John Whitley who defy all odds. Rather than anomalies to be ignored, she thought they could provide deep insights into how what we believe influences our health. To better understand what was happening, she studied the peer-reviewed scientific literature and amassed evidence that the medical establishment had been discovering for the past 50 years. The body can heal itself. Our beliefs hold more power than medicine. If you or someone you love is suffering from an allegedly chronic, incurable, or terminal illness, and you want to optimize the chance for remission, you must start by cleansing your mind of negative beliefs that will sabotage your self-healing. Healing comes as our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs alter our bodies in form and function. The chronic stress of loneliness, pessimism, depression, fear, and anxiety harm a body. Intimate relationships, gratitude, and authentic self-expression activate self-healing processes. Health comes from loving, nurturing, and creative relationships within us and the natural world, including what we eat, manifest through our professional and personal relationships. That dynamic is likely at play with faith healers. As Rankin points out, quote, "People come from far and wide to be in the presence of someone they believe will heal them. Add to that other people in need of healing who have made a pilgrimage and who share the same positive belief. Throw in rituals and practices that reinforce the belief, the loving hug, the laying on of hands, the meditation, the herbs, the holy water, and you've got a recipe for elicitation of relaxation responses and self-healing that scientists would dub the mega placebo effect." End quote. Diet as religion, medical and nutritional hexing. The bewitching nature of sleep paralysis, especially within the context of its common cultural interpretations, is akin to what Andrew Weil describes as medical hexing. That occurs when your doctor tells you that you'll be on a medication for the rest of your life, or that you have a 5% chance of a 5-year survival, or that you have a so-called, quote, incurable illness. Though they don't necessarily mean to harm you, they are essentially cursing you with a form of, quote, medical hexing. They think they're telling it to you straight, that you deserve to know, that you should be realistic and make funeral arrangements if necessary. But when they say such things, they instill in your conscious and subconscious mind a belief that you won't get well. And if the mind holds this negative belief, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe that you'll never recover, you won't, just as the Hmong men who died because they believed that their paralysis was caused by a malevolent being intent on harming them during their nightmares. Many patients who are suffering from gastrointestinal disorders seek complementary and integrative medicine therapies. While the therapies can certainly be effective, research indicates that the quality of patient-provider interactions can also improve health outcomes for irritable bowel syndrome. Researchers also find that an extended patient-provider visit improves gastroesophageal reflux disease symptoms, or GERD. Symptom severity doesn't differ between the over-the-counter homeopathic product, Acidil, and placebo groups. But people who received the expanded visit were significantly more likely to report a 50% or greater improvement in symptom severity compared to patients who received the standard visit. The bewitching nature of medical hexing raises a question. To what degree does all the negative information we receive affect our responses to different dietary items?